Hello everyone to the Wednesday edition of A Daily Dose of Harry Potter. The plan for this is me, my friends, and family will be reading 4 chapters of Harry Potter a week and then discussing them on here. Current book, first book, best place to start off. Book 1, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So we've all read 4 chapters at this point. We urge you to read along with us. If you keep pace, we plan not to do any spoilers. If you do read ahead of us, I believe my cousin Nathaniel will be doing a spoilers section, so watch out for that. You should have already heard from my Aunt Carol and then on Monday, and then my Uncle Ray and cousin Karina on Tuesday. Basically this is just because we're not expecting any more books to be coming out or any more movies to come out, unless, which would be awesome, for J.K. Rowling or Hollywood to be like, surprise, look here, what we're doing. That would be pretty awesome, but highly unlikely, unfortunately. You know what, before I get into the first 4 chapters, gotta be honest with everyone, I've been reading science fiction and fantasy literature since I could read, basically. It's always been my genre. Loved it. When Harry Potter first came out, I picked it up at the bookstore, read the first chapter, I think, maybe that much. Was not impressed. To be quite honest, I thought it was boring. And put it down and never really picked it back up until couple years later, after the second and third books got out, and between my mother, which is strange, and my sister, they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, you gotta read it. So I picked up the first book again, suffered through the first few chapters, and found out it does get better. Then continued through the other books and became addicted to the series and Harry Potter in general. So let's get into it. First, a couple of things that I have picked up over the years that I find interesting. Hagrid is the one who basically, takes Harry out of the wizarding world. He picks him up at his house after the incident happened between Voldemort and his parents, and he miraculously survived. And then 11 years later, it's Hagrid who picks him up from the house well, not the house, but the family he dropped him off with, and basically brings him back into the wizarding world. Aunt Carol mentioned some similarities between Harry Potter and the Snake, which I had never picked up on, and, I think she's right. And it's things like these that point out how much thought J.K. Rowling puts into her stories, or her books, or her world, whatever you want to call it. After reading through it multiple times, you start to pick up things that you wouldn't have picked up the first time, like foreshadowing in book 1 of things that might be happening in book 4, 5, 6, 7. These are things that, most authors wouldn't have thought of until they were in the process of writing these further additions to their worlds. And I think that the amount of thought that she put into these shows in the books, and that's what makes these books amazing and why they became such a huge worldwide event, basically, and what makes it such a success and what makes her such a success. I'm really looking forward to seeing how much of an effect this will have on future authors and future books coming out, to see if anyone ever matches the amount of depth and thoughtfulness that she has put into this series. Now, speaking of it becoming such a huge thing, there is one little thing I want to dip into the book here for. Professor McGonagall says, "Really, Dumbledore, you think you can explain this in a letter? These people will never understand him. He'll be famous, a legend. I wouldn't be surprised if today was known as Harry Potter Day in the future. And right here, there will be books written about Harry. Every child in our world will know his name." And, obviously there have been books written about him by J.K. Rowling, but there's also been other books written about him by other authors discussing, you know, like how Harry relates to us as a human race. They teach college classes about Harry Potter. Like, I'm not talking in your English class, they'll discuss it like they discuss Shakespeare, but no, actual like classes dedicated to Harry Potter and understanding how he reflects on our culture. And I don't think that J.K. Rowling was expecting that kind of reaction, but it's what she got, and it's just become huge, you know. Harry Potter, I think, is one of those things that'll never go away. As for Harry knowing whether or not he was a wizard, I don't think he thought he was a wizard or knew he was a wizard. I think he knew that things happened to him, around him, because of him. But I don't think he really gave much thought to it. You know, it didn't ever really occur to him that there might be more to it other than just him being him, basically. Which I think is great, you know. The reason Dumbledore wanted him put in with his family was so that he wouldn't grow up knowing he was famous. He wouldn't get a big head, and I think it was really successful in that endeavor. The book starts to pick up a little bit with, you know, the letters arriving and, you know, flooding through the door's mailbox and down the chimney and driving the Dursleys and Harry from their home, you know, through the many places that they try and escape, the inescapable letters that, you know, follow them wherever they go. And then finally to the shack in the ocean, where they don't receive letters, but instead they receive a giant at their door. Like, and honestly, you know, I think Harry handled it surprisingly well. In his situation, if a giant knocked down my door and said, "Hey, you're a wizard," the Dursleys, on the other hand, did not handle it as well. Obviously, they're not happy with the existence of the wizarding world, magic. You know, I'd shudder to think how they would feel about all the other things that exist out there. You know, they live in a very small, secluded world of their own making, you know, which is sad. You know, you got to know what's out there and experience it. But, you know, I think we're looking forward to a lot more big things. You know, Hagrid's just picking up Harry and taking him out to get ready for school at Hogwarts, the greatest wizarding school out there, at least in my opinion. And, you know, it's going to be an exciting adventure that we want to have with you guys. So leave your comments, send us videos of your own, saying what you feel about the series. We'll respond to you, we'll respond to each other, and tomorrow's Thursday, so you have my cousin Than's video to look forward to, I believe. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this whole adventure takes us. Take care.